Find her, and bring her alive to me, before today runs out." Chief Obafemi yelled at his thugs, his voice shaking with fear. "We need her in less than 2 days, or tragedy will befall me. Her head must be sacrificed to the spirits before Thursday." The men scattered into the night, leaving Obafemi alone with his terror. He knew death was coming for him if he failed. It all began in a small village called Utusi. There lived a man called Obafemi. He was a businessman who had a small shop in the market where he sold shoes, school bags, and stationaries. Every morning, he would wake up at 5 a.m., kiss his wife Aduke goodbye, and ruffle the hair of his 2 children, 8-year-old Kemi and 6-year-old Tolu. "Papa, when I grow up, I want to have a big shop just like you," Kemi would say, her eyes bright with admiration. Little Tolu, always the quiet one, would just hug his father's leg and whisper, "I love you, Papa." These moments filled Obafemi's heart with joy. He was married to Aduke, and though they were not rich, they had love. His business was growing gradually, but Aduke felt they were not making enough money, especially for her dream lifestyle. "Look at Mrs. Johnson's new gold jewelry," Aduke would complain every evening. "Look at how Chief Martin's wife dresses. And look at me, wearing the same dress I wore to church last year." At first, Obafemi would hold her hand gently. "My dear, we are building something good. Give it time." But as months passed, Aduke's complaints grew louder and more frequent. "This is not the marriage I dreamed of," she would say, refusing to eat the dinner he brought home. "I'm tired of living like a poor woman." The children would watch from the corner, little Tolu's eyes filling with tears when Mama and Papa raised their voices. Kemi would take her brother's hand and whisper, "It's okay. Papa and Mama still love us." Obafemi's frustration grew so strong that he had to meet a fellow trader, Alabi, who had big shops in the market for advice. "Brother Alabi, what can I do? My wife is not happy with what I provide." Alabi patted his shoulder. "Business grows because of hard work. You should put in more hard work. Be patient." Obafemi continued with his business diligently, waking up even earlier, staying in the shop until late at night. But his wife's pressure increased so much that he became depressed. "Kunle bought a car for his wife yesterday. But look at you, Obafemi," Aduke said one evening, her voice full of disgust. "You carry me on your bicycle everywhere around this community like I'm a bag of rice. I want more." That night, Obafemi sat on his bed, watching his children sleep. Kemi had her arm around Tolu, protecting him even in her dreams. Their faces looked so peaceful, so innocent. He loved them more than life itself. He loved Aduke too, despite everything. He just wanted his family to be happy. The next day, his frustration grew worse, and he approached Alabi again. "Brother, I'm dying slowly. My wife compares me to every man in this village. Yesterday she said I'm useless." Alabi laughed gently. "I was once in your shoes, my friend. But you know what? Sometimes you must leave the beaten path to catch the vulture if you want quick wealth." Obafemi looked confused. "What do you mean?" "I will take you to a chief priest who will help you get wealthy." Obafemi's heart started beating fast. "Hope I won't need to sacrifice anybody?" "No, you won't," Alabi assured him. "All you need is to bathe with a special soap the chief priest gives you." "I'm in then," Obafemi replied, desperation making the decision for him. Alabi took him deep into the forest where an old man with scary red eyes sat waiting. "So you want wealth?" the chief priest asked, his voice like grinding stones. "Yes, sir. I want to make my family happy." The priest laughed, a sound that made Obafemi's skin crawl. "Family happiness. Yes, yes. Take this soap. Bathe with it at exactly 1:45 a.m. every day for 1 month." The soap was black and smelled like rotten eggs, but Obafemi took it. "Is that all?" "For now, yes. When the month ends, come back to me." Obafemi kept to the ritual. Every night at 1:45 a.m., he would sneak out of bed, trying not to wake Aduke. or the children, and bathe with the horrible soap in their backyard. Within 2 weeks, customers started flooding his shop. People who had never bought from him before were coming to buy expensive shoes and bags. Money was flowing in like never before. By the end of the month, Obafemi had made more money than he had made in 5 years. He bought Aduke a beautiful blue Mercedes-Benz car. Her eyes lit up when she saw it. "Oh my God, Obafemi, how did you afford this?" "Business has been very good, my dear." For the first time in months, Aduke hugged him tightly and kissed him. "I'm sorry for all the things I said. I love you." They moved to a bigger house in the better part of town. Kemi got her own room painted pink, her favorite color. Tolu got a room full of toy cars. The children were so happy. "Papa, you're the best papa in the whole world," Kemi shouted, running around their new house. For 3 months, life was perfect. Aduke stopped complaining. She was proud to be seen with him. The children were excelling in their new school. Neighbors respected him. But then, things began to go bad. Customers stopped coming. His goods were not selling. Obafemi ran to the chief priest, panic filling his chest. "Baba, what is happening? Everything was going so well." The old man smiled, showing his brown teeth. "Your previous task has expired. The spirits want more. Should I bring more chickens this time around?" "No," the chief priest replied, his eyes glowing red. "The spirits want your wife." "My wife?" Obafemi cried, his heart nearly stopping. "No, she was the reason I wanted to be rich in the first place. That is the price. Bring her or lose everything." Days went by and Obafemi struggled to make the decision. He would watch Aduke playing with the children in their new house, laughing and happy for the first time since their marriage. How could he destroy this? But as he delayed his choice, things went from bad to worse. His new customers disappeared completely. Bills piled up. The car broke down. Kemi came home from school crying because they were asking for her fees. "Papa, why is everything changing?" little Tolu asked one evening, noticing his father's sad face. "Don't worry, my son. Papa will fix everything." But inside, Obafemi was breaking apart. Worse still, Aduke started her complaints again. "I knew this was too good to be true," she said, throwing a bill at him. "You can't even pay the electricity bill. All my friends are laughing at me again." She became materialistic again, comparing him to other men, pressuring him daily. Then came the final blow. She discovered she was cheating on him with a rich man from the next town. "She doesn't even love me," Obafemi whispered to himself one night, tears falling down his face. "I did everything for her, and she betrays me." His children were getting sick because he couldn't afford good food anymore. Kemi's school uniform was getting too small, but he had no money to buy a new one. Tolu had developed a cough that wouldn't go away. One evening, he watched from the window as Aduke dressed up to go meet her lover. "Baba, I am ready," he said to the chief priest when he visited again. "Things are going bad. My children are sick, no school fees, business is failing, and my wife has become unfaithful because I cannot continue to give her a luxurious lifestyle. Take her." 3 days later, Aduke died in a car accident, on her way to see the man she was cheating with. The brakes failed, the police said. She died instantly. At the funeral, Obafemi cried real tears. Despite everything, he had loved her. Kemi and Tolu clung to him, not understanding why Mama would never come home again. "Papa, where did Mama go?" Tolu asked, his little voice breaking Obafemi's heart. She went to heaven, my son." But within a month of Aduke's death, Obafemi's wealth grew so much that it tripled his initial wealth. Money was flowing from everywhere. He felt sick with guilt, but he told himself it was for his children's future. A year later, Obafemi married Adunni, a kind woman who loved his children like her own. Kemi and Tolu, still grieving their mother, slowly began to smile again. Adunni would sing to them at night and tell them stories. She brought warmth back to their house. But suddenly, business started shaking again. The familiar pattern was returning. Obafemi went to the chief priest with dread in his heart. "What is happening? I thought the ritual was once and for all." "No, it is not," the priest laughed wickedly. "It is yearly. The spirits must feed every year." "But what? What do they want now?" "Your first child." Obafemi felt like the world was spinning. "My daughter? No, never." "Then lose everything and die poor. The choice is yours." For weeks, Obafemi couldn't sleep. He would stand by Kemi's bed at night, watching her peaceful face as she slept. She was growing into a beautiful, intelligent girl. She still called him the best papa in the world. How could he even think of harming her? But the bills kept piling up. The new house was being threatened with eviction. Kemi's school was asking for fees. Tolu needed medicine for his cough that was getting worse. "Papa, are we going to be poor again?" Kemi asked one day, her young mind picking up on the tension in the house. That question broke something inside Obafemi. 1 month later, Kemi died in what appeared to be a drowning accident during a school trip. But Obafemi knew the truth. The night before, he had led his trusting daughter to the chief priest's shrine deep in the forest. "Papa, where are we going?" she had asked, holding his hand tightly. Just for a walk, my dear." Those were the last words his daughter spoke to him. At Kemi's funeral, Tolu was inconsolable. "First mama, now sister. Papa, are you going to leave me too?" Obafemi held his remaining child and wept. What kind of monster had he become? But the wealth came flooding back, bigger than ever before. Another year passed. Tolu, now the only child left, became Obafemi's whole world. The boy was all he had left of his family. But like clockwork, the business started failing again. This time, Obafemi didn't even need to ask. He knew what the spirits wanted. "My son," he whispered to the chief priest. "They want my son." "Yes, the boy must come." Obafemi went home and looked at 8-year-old Tolu, who was drawing a picture of their family. Him, Papa, Mama Adunni, and his sister Kemi with angel wings. "Papa, do you think Sister Kemi can see us from heaven?" Tolu asked innocently. Obafemi's heart shattered into a million pieces. But the fear of poverty, the addiction to wealth, had consumed his soul completely. 2 weeks later, little Tolu was found dead at the bottom of a well. Another accident. Adunni was devastated. She had loved both children like her own, but she also started having strange dreams. In her dreams, she saw Kemi and Tolu crying and pointing at their father. She saw blood and heard screams. "Something is not right," she whispered to herself. "2 children? Both accidents? It's not possible." People in the village started talking too. "How can one man lose a wife and 2 children in accidents, but his business keeps growing?" they whispered. One day, Obafemi left for a business meeting in the next town. Something told Adunni to search the house. She had been having the strange dreams for weeks, and her heart was telling her that the man she married was not who she thought he was. She went to a room that Obafemi always kept locked. Using a spare key she had seen him hide, she opened the door. The smell hit her first, like rotten blood and death. Then she saw it. An altar with dried bloodstains, strange symbols drawn on the walls, and pictures of Aduke, Kemi, and Tolu with red X marks across their faces. Her own picture was there too, unmarked but clearly next in line. "Oh my God!" Adunni screamed, falling to her knees. "He killed them. He killed his own children." Her stomach turned, and she vomited right there on the floor. Her legs were shaking so badly she could barely stand. The man she had married, the man she had trusted with her life, was a ritualist. A child killer. She ran to the nearest church, crying and shaking. Pastor, help me. My husband. He killed his children. Pastor Johnson, a man of God who had been praying against the evil in their community, immediately understood. "My daughter, I have been having visions about this. God has been showing me that there is great evil in this village. You are in danger." He gathered the prayer warriors, and they began to pray for Adunni's protection. They prayed through the night, binding every evil spirit that was sent against her. When Obafemi returned and found his secret room discovered, he knew his time was running out. His business immediately started crashing. Customers disappeared. Money stopped flowing. He rushed to the chief priest in panic. "She knows. My wife saw the altar." The priest's eyes turned completely red with anger. "The spirits are very angry. They can smell the betrayal. You must bring her head physically to appease the gods, or you will die before Thursday." "But she has run away." "Then find her, kill her, or die." Obafemi hired thugs to search for Adunni. They looked everywhere: her family house, her friends' houses, other churches. But every time they got close, something would happen. Their car would break down, or they would suddenly forget where they were going, or they would feel too afraid to continue. Meanwhile, Adunni was with Pastor Johnson and the church members, praying day and night. She had told them everything, and they were praying for God's protection and for the evil to be exposed. "The blood of Jesus covers you," Pastor Johnson would pray. "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." Obafemi tried using dark magic to find her, sending evil spirits to track her down. But every time the spirits got close to the church, they would be driven back by a force more powerful than them. Days passed. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was coming fast. Thursday morning came. Obafemi had not slept for 3 days. His eyes were red and wild. His hands were shaking. He could feel death approaching. "Have you found her?" he screamed at his thugs. "Chief, we have searched everywhere. It's like she disappeared from the earth." Obafemi knew the truth. She was being protected by a power stronger than his dark spirits. At exactly 12 noon, as he sat in his car outside the chief priest's shrine, waiting for a miracle that would never come, Obafemi felt a cold hand touch his shoulder, but no one was there. He looked in his rearview mirror and saw them, Aduke, Kemi, and little Tolu. They were standing behind his car, their eyes filled with sadness and disappointment. "Papa," he heard Kemi's voice, even though her lips didn't move. "Why did you kill us? We loved you so much." "Papa," Tolu's small voice echoed in his head. "I drew you a picture before I died. You were my hero. Why did you hurt me?" Aduke just shook her head sadly. "I was wrong to pressure you, but you killed innocent children, your own children." Obafemi tried to start his car to drive away from the visions, but his hands wouldn't obey him. Foam started coming from his mouth. His body began shaking violently. The spirits he had served for years were now coming to collect their payment, his life. "Please," he whispered, but no one could hear him. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." But it was too late. The evil that he had fed with innocent blood was now consuming him. At exactly 2:47 p.m. on Thursday, Chief Obafemi was found dead in his car, foam still dripping from his mouth, his eyes wide open in terror. Adunni emerged from hiding after news of Obafemi's death spread. She went to the police and told them everything she had discovered. They searched the house and found more evidence of his crimes. The chief priest was arrested and confessed to helping many people in the village perform ritualistic murders. Families who had lost loved ones in mysterious accidents finally got the truth. Adunni started an organization to help women recognize the signs of ritual killers and to provide protection for those in danger. She would visit schools and churches, telling her story and warning people about the true cost of greed. "Money cannot buy happiness," she would tell young people, "and wealth gained through evil will always destroy the person who seeks it. Love your family. Be content with what you have. Work hard honestly, and God will bless you in His own time." The house where Obafemi had lived was turned into a prayer center. People would come there to pray against evil and to remember the innocent lives that were lost. Sometimes, visitors would say they could hear children laughing in the prayer center, the sound of Kemi and Tolu finally at peace, their spirits no longer trapped by their father's evil deeds. And in the village of Utusi, parents began to hold their children a little tighter, grateful for the gift of family and understanding that no amount of money is worth losing the people you love. The chief priest died in prison 3 months later, and with his death, the evil that had plagued the village for years was finally broken. Adunni never remarried. She dedicated her life to protecting others and keeping the memory of Kemi and Tolu alive, not as victims, but as angels who taught the world that love is more powerful than greed and that light always defeats darkness in the end. Moral lessons. Chief Obafemi's story reminds us that wealth gained through shortcuts and blood sacrifices brings nothing but destruction. Greed and impatience can drive even a loving father to betray those he cherishes most, proving that evil bargains never end well. Family, honesty, and contentment are priceless, and when we allow pressure, envy, or materialism to dictate our choices, we risk losing what truly matters. True prosperity lies in hard work, faith, and integrity, not in deals with darkness. Ultimately, the story teaches that no amount of money can replace the love of family or buy lasting peace, and that light always conquers evil in the end. If you were moved by this powerful story of Chief Obafemi and the tragic cost of greed, don't just stop here. Help us spread the lessons. Hit the like button to let us know you value stories with meaning. Subscribe to our channel for more life-changing African stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next episode. Share this video with friends and family so together we can remind